Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to talk about lighting and my new setup. Let's get to it. Alright guys, my name is Paul, and today we're actually going to take a closer look at my new light setup and why I went this route. If you are new to the channel, thank you for stopping by if you haven't already, and if you like this content, feel free to subscribe as that will really help this channel out. And if you haven't seen my new cord glasses, these are the ones that were just released in the last video. They are made for everyone, and it's a pretty generic size that will fit most people. It's got the beautiful black piano finish along with the orange lens that helps cut out the blue hue when viewing corals, and they'll actually show you the coral's true color or filtering out that blue spectrum. So if you are interested in supporting the channel, please check out the link below. With this new setup, I decided to go with something a little different. I knew that the Orphek light bars were solid, they were fanless, and they just worked. All the LED in the light bar has still been working to this day, and so I decided to just go ahead and keep the light bars. The Orphek itself, the Atlantic, had issues with the LEDs, particularly with the UV spectrum and the blue spectrum, where they kept dying on me, so I would have to take them out, take them off, and desolder the LEDs and put the new ones on. And I actually had done that a few times already, and I'm just tired of doing that. But if I was open to just replacing LEDs, I think they would still work fine today. The only drawback is, of course, controllability. Talking to the gateway is always a hassle. It takes about 5 minutes to establish a connection once you plug in the gateway to the outlet. And sometimes the unit would connect to the lights and sometimes they wouldn't, at which point I would have to reset both lights and the gateway and start over again. Now, I don't really use a control in the Orphek as much as I like because of how it works, and it's just very buggy for the iOS platform. But all in all, they did work, and output in terms of power was there enough to grow corals. So I was pretty much happy with those lights, but I wanted to try something different this time around since I'm rebooting my whole tank setup. And if you haven't seen that video, feel free to check out the link above where I talk about my new setup. But with these lights, I wanted something small, thin, sleek, light, and something with good app control so that I can go in there and tweak it as needed. In terms of LEDs, there are a lot of brands out there. There's Cree, Osram, Philip, LG, there's Samsung, GE, to name a few, but they all make really good LEDs, and these are the LEDs that are used in the top tier LED manufacturers like AI, Radions. We have Neptune, ATI Stratton, and some other ones out there that use the top LEDs diodes in their setup. And I wanted something that's going to last this time around. I didn't want to have to keep going in there to change out the LEDs. Although there is really no guarantee when it comes to small component parts, I wanted something in there that's more reputable. So with that, I decided to go with the Radion's Ecotech Radeon G6, the blue version. I thought really hard about the blue and the Pro, but because I'm going to be viewing the tank mostly at nighttime, I wanted to have more of a blue hue to the lighting, so that's why I went with the G6 route. One of the other reasons I went with the Radeon is because of the AB Plus spectrum, and I'm actually going to utilize that, but then also modify that so that I get more of the darker blue hue at nighttime so I can really see the corals pop. And I'm going to actually extend out the a length of time that it is lit throughout the day, and then also at the same time shift it up so that it's not turned on at 8 in the morning, but instead around noonish, so that I can have more viewing at nighttime. Now, is LED a requirement for lighting your tank? The answer is really no. You can light your tank however you want to, but it comes down to, are you going to be growing corals in your tank? And if you are, what type of corals? And what are the light requirements for the corals? Now, if I was going fish only, I can probably get away with just some smaller lights or just regular LED lightings. But I wanted to grow SPS. And so with that, I decided to go with the Radions because of the power that it can output from the lighting. Now, I could have gotten away with just 2 Radions in the light bar, but to me, it would look kind of off with just 2 on that large of a tank. I think 3 is a perfect number, while 4 might be a bit overkill. So 3 Radions with 2 light bars kind of just fills in the gap and evens out the lighting for the tank. So here are some measurements that I took with my PAR meter, and you can pause if need to, but I'm measuring at the top level, middle level, and at the bottom level. And this is with the AB plus schedule set to 100% with the Radions, and the Radions are 9 inches off the water. I also went through again and did the same test, but this time with the OR2 light bars turned on. I took measures again from the top, the middle, and the bottom. And for the places where I couldn't take a measurement, like the bottom where the rock is actually occupying, I couldn't take those measurements, so I went ahead and put in those areas. But overall, the light is actually outputting enough power to be able to grow SPS corals even all the way at the bottom of the tank. Alright, so here we have the light setup. 2 OR2 Orphek light bars, 48-inch long, mounted using the AI blade mount, and I have 2 on each end that actually mounts onto the OR2 light bars. They are mounted onto the Ecotech rail here, hanging rails, by the use of the Ecotech hanging kit bracket, and there's a special bracket that slides right in on top of here, and I'm using that so I can mount this AI bracket onto that piece, and that piece sits inside of the rails here. Again, I'm using the Ecotech hanging kit as well, and that's how I'm able to hang this up. So my final thoughts on the lights is this. Aesthetically, they look pleasing. The 3 Radions with the 2 light bars, they just look like they were made to be combined together as a hybrid setup. So I don't have an issue with that. Light, I am using the AB plus schedule, again at 40% intensity until I have corals in there. Then I'll slowly increase that up. So I think that's good. I think the only downfall is the cost of the unit. And with price and everything that's going up, it seems, for the past year or two, these lights are just getting more and more expensive. But then again, I went ahead and just plunged right in and bought them anyways because, one, I like the controllability of the lights, and I like how they're able to all 3 sync up together. I had a lot of issues with the Orpheks when I was syncing them and trying to get them to both come on at the same time and turn off at the same time. I would always have like a few second delay. So with the Radions, they work flawlessly. They all sync up. If I open up the app and the app says time's out of sync, I just hit the sync up button. They all continue to sync up. They all turn on at the same time, turn off at the same time. The other added benefit is that with the latest generation of the Radions, they fixed the fan issue where with my G4, the fan used to always stay on all the time, 24/7. and the only way to turn the fan off was to turn it off through the Apex controller, and I had to shut the power off to the lights. But with this new version, I'm able to just control that independently if I want them on or if I want them to automatically turn off, and it seems to be working to have them automatically turn off, and they are just working the way they're supposed to. So I think only time will tell if I'm going to have a real issue with these lights, but so far they will be, based on what I read, able to grow SPS, and that's actually what I'm after. I'm looking to get some acroporas in there and start to grow them out just like how I had with my previous tank. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I just want to give you an update to my lighting source and what I'm going to be running moving forward with this new setup. If you have any options out there or alternatives or any schedule recommendation, please let me know. I'm usually home after work, and that's when I like to view the tank, so I like it to be in its blue hue phase already when I get home. So I'm going to tweak the AB schedule just so that I can get that blue hue when I get home. Alright guys, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them down in the comment section below. And again, I do appreciate you watching to the very end, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.